Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask Dave number 20. It's
Punish Dave. It should be changed to Punish Dave number 20.
All right, let's do that.
No, it's fine.
I actually like it.
That's just some joke that we came up with. Punished by questions, you know.
Well, but we
I'm
could
constantly punished by questions 24/7. Literally.
That would be a good promo, though. At least just for the promo to put punished by questions or something like that. I like that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Cool. I hope everybody's doing good. It's Friday night. Looking forward to the weekend. It's opening weekend for football. I don't know if anybody watched football last night.
Not me.
No, you don't watch football.
I don't watch football.
So yeah, I'm a big football fan, and KC got beat last night. The Super Bowl champions got beat by Detroit.
Oh, hey.
You're Detroit
right,
Lions, man. Right, exactly. You're Detroit Lions, man. Dude, you need to follow them this year.
Yeah, you think they're going to actually do something?
Well, I'm not making any predictions
because as long as I've been alive, they haven't.
Right. If statistics will be true, then no, I'm not making any predictions. But it's going to be an exciting year based on last night. They beat the Super Bowl champions.
Well, I think it's time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when. I mean, I can't remember them. I mean, they had a few seasons that were okay throughout the last 50 years of my life, but
yeah. But I don't know when they went to the Super Bowl last or won. So
oh God, not in my lifetime.
Okay, so it's been at least 54 years.
No, Detroit was always a hockey town.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's exciting. I was excited for Detroit last night.
That's cool.
So yeah, guys, you know what this month is? Actually, it is
Guitar Month.
It's Guitar Month by Sweetwater, and so you know what that means? That means you need to get your guitars from Sweetwater.
Lots of 55-point inspections.
Yep, it's the #1 place to buy your guitars online. I truly check there first always. And not just because they are a sponsor of the show. I mean, I know that sounds like it is, but it's more because they just give great service, really great service. And, you know, the guitar
it's as good as it gets.
Yeah. And the guitar that you're buying that you see in the guitar gallery is most of the time the guitar that you're going to buy. So
yeah, no, it is the actual picture because they have the picture with the serial number of the guitar. So the guitar that you are seeing is the guitar you're buying. And that's amazing. I've actually been there and seen the whole 55-point inspection thing and what they do for every guitar, and it's pretty damn cool. Good luck getting that from other retailers.
Absolutely. Look at this. Free Plec included on certain guitars that you can buy, and the price looks the same.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they're plucking guitars, you know, I mean.
And that's like that's kind of a low budget guitar, isn't it? Or what is that? I can't read it.
It's an SE. It's a
PRS
SE Silver Sky for $849, and it's plecked.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So anyway, you know, guys, definitely go to Sweetwater. Check them out this month for Guitar Month. All right.
All month
of September. So
deals to be had.
Absolutely.
I mean, that Plec deal is an awesome deal. I mean, you get that guitar. I mean, that was the Silver Sky, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those guitars actually, you know, and when they first came out, I was kind of like, I don't know about the headstock and stuff, but they sound amazing. The pickups in them sound amazing.
They do.
They play great. I mean, I've felt some and played some, and I'm like, oh, okay. He did a good job.
Remember, I think it was Tim Pierce.
Yes, he compared it to a vintage.
Yeah,
right.
That video.
Yeah. So and it sounded every bit as good, if not better. Actually, so
it did. It was really. I was impressed, I have to say. Now I don't know much about the new Tele that they just came out with, which is the what is it? The Miles Kennedy model. So. But anyway, well, guys, make sure you also check out fixedpedalboards.com.
Get their little junction boxes for your pedal boards. Those are awesome. I helped them with that. So,
oh, you did?
Please, yes, I did. I helped them with that. Yeah, helped them with that project. And cool. And it's an awesome little box. I use them all the time. I mean, I have my own junction box for my boards, but we do a lot of custom stuff. So when we do custom stuff, everything's out the window. I might not use my board. I might use a different board. It depends on what's appropriate for the rig is how I judge it.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. Cool. And yeah, so he's got plenty of other stuff as well to check out for your pedal boards. Let's see. Oh, Buck Wild. This is only for Americans, means nothing for the rest of the world. He's talking about football. But
Detroit, right. Football there is different.
That's true. Yes, it is. Soccer here. And hey, I used to play soccer when I was a kid. So let's see. Hey, Dave, this caught my eye. You have once told you saw Kurt Cobain. Please tell more about the situation. Greetings from Germany. Did you? I don't remember you saying that.
Yeah. So the story goes, I had my shop at the time, and this would have been the early 90s. So I was at that point working for what was the early stages of making music. And we had a little shop that we were working in, and this was in what was called Andy Brower's Studio Rentals at the time. And I remember distinctly looking out the door into the hallway, and these people are coming by, and you see this guy dragging a guitar across the floor behind him, just holding it by the neck and dragging it behind him, right? And you're like, what the fuck is going on? You know? Who the hell's that? And why are they dragging their guitar down the hallway?
Right.
Dragging the guitar down the hallway in this big long ass sweater, and times had changed, and I come later to find out it was it was Kurt Cobain, and they were listening to some amps to rent for the studio session. I also think this was maybe before the first record. I think this is for the first record, because I think Butch Vig was with them.
Well, when you say first record, you mean the Nevermind record.
The Nevermind record, yeah.
Right.
The first big record.
First big record, yeah.
Yeah. And I think what was rented was a blonde bassman head. Blonde, maybe brown face bassman, but I could be wrong. It might be just a black face blonde bassman. I remember the amp distinctly. It was in the rental fleet.
And then he would just put a pedal through it, right, for the distortion.
Yeah, I think it was cranked up and then put a pedal through it, and yeah, exactly.
So he was just dragging his guitar.
Dragging the guitar down the hallway. We at the time, who was Kurt Cobain? He wasn't anyone at the time,
Right. Yeah, so it was just some guy who was clearly. Yeah. Did he look like he was strung out carrying the guitar?
Oh, he looked a bit dirty. The big old ratty sweater on, and dragging the guitar down the thing. I mean, it's a great story. I mean,
yeah. Hey, you saw him.
And I remember distinctly also another story from sort of that era when we were listening to things with Jerry Cantrell and Lane Staley to what they were going to put in their guitar rack right before a little ways before Dirt was released, and that was interesting. I remember distinctly Lane. Yeah, just sitting there. They're just sitting in this little tiny room, this little demo room we had.
Was this when you were first starting to work with Jerry?
Yeah, this is before I worked with him. This was just auditioning the gear, like the Bogner preamp, and determining what power amp, and determining what speaker cabs and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
By the way, Joe, by the way, if you farted, sorry about that. That plecking is not on all guitars. No, that was just a special that they have on certain guitars. If you go to a section there on Guitar Month, you click that, and they have certain guitars that they've selected, I guess, for the month or for whenever that they pleck, but it's not on all guitars.
Go take a look at Guitar Month at Sweetwater, and I think you'll figure it out pretty quickly.
Yep.
What's available and what's not.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry if I implied that, but definitely no plecking on all guitars. So, all right, let's go to some questions here. We've got Ampman 50, but I don't see a question. We're starting off good. Ampman 50, if you have a question, I appreciate the super chat. I don't see it, Dave. If you see it, let me know.
Oh, I'm starting from the back, and we have an early kind of question. I don't know if that's really a question as a statement. Early on, Michael Andrusek, Ondrusek,
Yep.
Almost at the beginning, he was making a comment about how he started using a Boss EQ pedal into the small box, and now I'm hearing.
Oh, I see.
We can all read it here.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a Boss EQ pedal can really shape the sound a lot, although they tend to be really noisy. There are some mods out there that can be done to them that actually quiet them down. There used to be, I don't know who's doing them currently, but there's some ways to do lower noise chips and things in it. But it's an EQ. It shapes the tone. You can kind of notch certain frequencies, and you can kind of, give it a little mid boost or bump, and do all sorts of stuff. It's almost like having a different sort of pickup in your guitar, so to speak.
Right.
Hey, it's a little hotter now, and it's got a little more mid-range emphasis. Okay, well, that EQ can do that.
Right.
Really cool. A friend of mine, who was the guy that was sitting in the background on the Jakey Lee show that we did, sitting on the bed in the background. My friend Doug.
Right.
He used to use a JSIM 800 with a EQ pedal boosting into it. And he used to get with a Charvel guitar, and he used to get a great tone out of it. It was awesome. He just boosted it in a certain way, and it just sounded awesome.
And the boost was in front?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just shape the tone, boost how much gain you want, and go.
Well, that's the thing, and well, it's not a Boss EQ. I mean, a lot of people are always like, and even Eddie used to say, "Oh, I don't use anything to boost my sound." I mean, or distortion boxes, but he had at times almost 2 EQs going at the same time.
Well, it's the funny thing is that was used. It was kind of used in a weird way. So Ed went through all these pedals that weren't true bypassed at all. So if a guitar cord was plugged into a flanger, it's not true bypassed. And then into a phase 90, it's not true bypassed. And then into, let's say, an Echoplex, not true bypass. So you're losing a bunch. And what he had said was that the EQ would fix the issues.
The loss of high end.
The loss of top end and the loss of, signal and things that he had by plugging through all that stuff. And in reality, what would have been better is if he would have put the EQ in front of the stuff, and then it would have been buffered into the stuff to begin with, and you wouldn't lose the EQ. But it was just kind of a ass backwards way of doing things.
Interesting. Gotcha. Okay.
And it wasn't always used. Later on, after wirelesses and stuff, the EQs weren't really used anymore.
Right. Michael, thanks for the super chat for your question.
There's also long cable runs too. You got to think about that. He had really long cable into that stuff on top of the fact that it was not true bypassed. If you ever listen to this, you'd understand. Yuck.
Yeah, I can imagine. Especially at those volumes.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like a tone knob's rolled off.
Yeah. What's up, Vinny?
Hey, Vinny.
How are you, man? Guys, check out Signum guitar cables from Vincent.
Yes, do that.
By the way, he said he was getting some of that Belden cable.
9778.
Yeah,
great. Did you have to buy 1,000-foot roll of it, Vinny?
he did. He had to buy a big giant roll of it. He said.
Well, it sounds great. So that's good to know.
So we should talk because he was talking about making like maybe some Tone Talk cables or something.
Yeah, let's do it. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Yeah, with like the logo on the side or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah. And if we do the Patreon, we can. That was what I was going to mention to you also. So, all right, cool. Vin, we'll talk. Glad I went back. Dave looks so much like F1 Kimi Raikkonen. Do you know who that is?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay. Neither do I. They actually have F1 going by me now at the stadium. I still haven't found Ant-Man's question, so
might not exist. Justin Bryant, what's up, Justin?
Hey, Justin.
How are you?
Did you get your amp?
Yeah, I know it shipped to the warehouse. I don't know if he got it yet. But he might not got it yet.
Well, you can see mine.
Mario, hello.
I got it.
Yes, you did.
Hey, Mark, what is the Ampeg amp behind me? That's a Lee Jackson. I forgot what the hell the model is. I totally forgot what the model is on it. Do you remember the model on that? It was like a V something.
Yeah, no, I don't know. A VL something? VL 1002 maybe?
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, you pulled that out.
Like I can pull some stuff like that out, but I can't remember what I did yesterday. So
yeah, VL 1000.
I was talking to Jamie, the guy that works for me, about something about a GCX switcher or something, and I was like, yeah, I can't quite recall if the GCX number 2 chip, I changed the MIDI channel or the controller numbers, and then it just dawned on me. I'm like, oh no, it's the same MIDI channel. I just changed the controller numbers. He's like, how the hell do you remember that?
Amazing. Yeah, that stuff. Some things just stick in your brain. I mean, I still remember phone numbers from when I was like in high school.
I remember certain phone numbers of certain people that were kind of their phone numbers before the whole cell phone, thing.
Yeah.
And, the thing was, I can't memorize a number to save my life now.
No, I can't.
I can't to save my life. And
like if you asked me to call my son right now without looking at I couldn't tell you what his phone number is.
It took forever to memorize my wife's phone number. And like in the old days, I used to just memorize them all the time. And I don't know why. I just have a mental block. Like I can't do it anymore because I don't have to.
I think it's because you don't have to. I think it's because the phone stores it in there. You just kind of rely on it.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah. Bill L says junction boxes are a must-have. Just run a snake from it, super fast setup and tear down.
Well, go to Fix and get a junk box in variety of sizes.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's some huge ones. I think there's a 12. Yeah, a double layer 12. Yeah.
Joey Weiler, this is a good question. Is it worth it to order a Seymour Duncan pickup that's in their normal line from their custom shop from the custom shop instead? How much of a difference do you think there is?
So MJ wound SH5. So that's the that's JB, isn't it?
I think that is a JB.
So the JB you probably want is the Antiquity JB. So if that comes from the custom shop, then I would say get that. So the Antiquity JB uses, it's going to be beat up, obviously, but it uses the butyrate bobbins. It uses the rough cast A5 magnet. that is degaussed a little bit, so it's a little aged. And that will be the closest sounding to the original JBs. Not that the production one is that much different, but a little.
Yeah, I mean, there are some pickups now that have moved over that used to be in the custom shop.
78.
Yep, the 78, and also the what is it? The RTM from Warren DeMartini.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there are still some that are good to get. Yeah, that sounds like a great pickup to get, actually, to get an MJ wound JB. I never thought about that.
Here's one from Gertha 1134. What are your personal favorite Synergy modules, and are there new modules in the works?
Where are you at?
A little bit before the Kurt Cobain thing.
Oh, okay. All right, well, go ahead. You can answer that.
Personal favorite Synergy modules. Well, all the ones I made. No, I mean, hey, the Fryette Deliverance one is really cool. Some of the Angle ones are awesome sounding.
I'd say the SLO is great.
The SLO has been great. And there's new versions of, are there new things coming out? I think most of them have come out already. I'm pretty sure. So my new B Deluxe one came out. The PV one came out. The PV one actually sounds really good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard also.
I don't know if there's anything else right now in the works, but there might be in the future.
Well, that leads us right into the next question from Scent of a Wheelchair Pillow. Hey, what's up? What's up? Remember that name? Tone King Synergy module. Can you tell us anything that gives us hope? How big, popular do you think that would be? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it might be in the works, but I haven't seen any prototypes of it. I haven't seen anything yet. So, we'll see. That's a tough one, because the Tone King amp is, again, based on power amp distortion. So there's ideas that they have that might work, that might sound like that, but we'll see. I haven't seen them yet, so I don't know. How big, how popular? I don't know. I don't know. Is it going to be really popular? I don't know.
I mean, let's just say this. At some point, they're going to have to venture off into some medium to, cleaner tones.
Well, they have. I mean, they had that originally. They had Bassman, and they had the Tweed Deluxe.
That's true.
And they have the Dumble one, which sounds really cool. The ODS. That one sounds really good, actually. We have the clean, the BEBB, Bucks and Betty clean one that I have. That clean is amazing. That might be the cleanest of the cleans with the Synergy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a good dual purpose module, to have. There might be some hope in the future for maybe a small box module with 2 full channels, maybe. Now, this isn't in development yet, but I would like to do that.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'd have the Plexi channel and then the small box higher gain channel. That's
right.
Always been a popular amp to this day.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I mean, I texted you this, but I'll say it on the show. Of all the amps, I have played a lot of your amps, but I had never played an amp that had the Plexi channel.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, you're kind of behind the times on that.
I know. I was like, but I had never had the opportunity to play a Plexi channel of your amps.
Yeah.
So when I got the Jakey Lee 20, I tried it, and that's fucking awesome. It's going to be my go-to amp for my band, because doing
it's great
classic rock stuff, AC/DC, Aerosmith stuff.
Yeah.
Go to the Plexi channel. When I start getting into heavier territory, Foo Fighters and whatever.
Guys might like the new product coming. Can't say more, but you might like the new product coming. Be very good for a lot of people.
Mm.
And it's coming this month.
Cool. Very cool. Any more you want to say? It's coming this month, you said.
Coming this month.
Okay.
26th or 27th, I think.
Oh, my birthday, 26th.
Oh, there'll be some lead up to it, and you're gonna see a bunch of videos. I was just filming a video yesterday. Can't say what it is, but I think it's gonna solve a lot of people's little problems that they have.
Okay. Intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, have you started the next run of naked amps? Is it 2-channel amp, clean and dirty, or is the clean channel more plexi style?
It's a clean, and a dirty. It was just like Reza's videos of it. So it's basically that same amp. Have I started them yet? Well, I got a few transformer sets here, so the first maybe 4 are going to get built shortly. We're actually waiting on more transformers. We were out when I went to start this.
What's that amp behind you? That's Soldano.
It is a Reverb Sonic, maybe, or something, or yeah, it's Andrew Sinowicz.
Oh,
cool. And I'm repairing it.
That thing looks big.
Yeah, it's like a 212. It's pretty big. It looks bigger from just the way it's.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost as tall as a 412. So yeah, I mean, you're seeing it compared to a 412 behind it. So
yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's just like a clean channel and a crunch channel of an SLO. So it's not like the higher gain channel. So it's designed to be a little lower gain in nature.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense for what he plays or how he plays. Who makes the Friedman guitars now? Where can we see them?
They're out in the wild now. They're at dealers. Friedman guitars have been a long time now been made by Billy Rowe of Rock and Roll Relics.
We need to have him on.
Yes, Billy would be great to have on. In fact, I can do that right away.
Okay. I'll put him on the list too. We need to
put him on the list and bug me about it. That's easy. He's just down the street. So
yeah. Speaking of guests, before I jump to the next question, our next guest is going to be Joe Bonamassa, which is Wednesday.
Yeah, talk about tone talk.
Yep. We're going to go down the rabbit hole
there. He has the largest collection of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like everything.
I have a lot of questions I want to ask him specifically about certain amps and what why he prefers certain things over others. And
I mean, he prefers a lot of things. So let's just preface that, I mean, there's stages, for, sometimes for a minute there was a bunch of vintage Marshalls, and then there was a bunch of Tweed twins, and then there was, but yeah, I mean, he's the ultimate tone talk guy. I mean, like, it's all about the tone quest of finding the perfect guitars and the stuff. A lot of vintage collection stuff that's crazy. His house is insane. It's like a museum. I'm sure you've seen some other videos of.
I've seen
walking around
videos. Yeah, Nerdville, is that what he calls it?
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. It used to be another. The house originally belonged to another one of my clients. And my client had sold it to another guy, and then he wound up selling it to Joe. So I know the house really well.
Really?
Apparently, a lot's been done to it since I've been there last, but I know the house really well.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to have him on. Very cool. Nice guy. I'm just about to finish. He was on Dweezil Zappa's podcast talking about Van Halen.
Yeah.
So did you get it? I don't know if you have a chance.
No, I didn't watch it. I've actually never watched a single one of those.
Oh, well, you can't watch it. It's just audio.
Oh, okay.
But Ant-Man, I finally found your question. Hey guys, one for Dave. What are your thoughts on a 1968 Plexi small box. What is a S&B sound compared to a super lead? Other than they made less of them, there is very little difference electronically.
Well, it's just a question of that 68. The thing about the 50 watts is there were a lot of different specs tossed around in different years. So the question is, does the 68 Plexi, is it a lead spec? Is it a bass spec? Is it
I see,
halfway in between the two? Over the years, a lot, has been done. And then if you're comparing it to a super lead, what do you mean? Comparing it to with a lead spec super lead, I assume that, which is generally brighter and tighter, and some of the Plexis weren't because they weren't to that point. More early 70s, 50 watts had the lead spec in them. So, but a great 68 Plexi with the same spec in each amp, not much difference. Maybe the Plexi might be a little squishier and a little more gain than the 100 watt, but not like exceptionally different. So,
question on the Soldano behind you, Dave. Is that any good?
I don't know. I haven't touched it yet, so I have no idea. Might be. I mean, could very well be.
It will be when you get done with it.
I'm not modifying it. I'm just fixing it.
Okay. Well, even still.
Yeah. But sure I could make it really good.
Jose G, thanks. Happy Friday. Dave, you mentioned liking riffs over leads when testing an amp. Do you have a go-to favorite riffs? Cheers.
I don't know. Whatever I wound up playing. Not necessarily. I mean, like some famous riff or something. There's some Van Halen ones in there for sure. Like Unchained or something. There's a little bit of that. Not really, but I mean, leads, you can't tell what an amp sounds like at all with a lead. There's no, you can't tell anything. You can't,
right.
Doesn't do anything. It just sounds like a single note lead. It could be any amp. It's how the chords and how the strings ring out with the chords and how, how it rolls off the fretboard, that's the thing. Rhythm.
Yeah. Sean, thanks for the super chat. Here it is. Hey, Dave, just got a BE Deluxe with a 4x12. Love switching from dark to bright. Super cool. Suggestions to dial in something like JVM OD2 type kind of tone. If I drop thump to 0, am I doing it wrong? Thanks.
I wouldn't think the thump would be at 0. To be honest, I've never liked the JVM at all in any way, shape, or form. So I don't even know what OD2 is exactly. So it's hard for me to compare. I'd have to go listen to one and then compare, I'm sorry. I just don't really know.
There's a great amp though.
Yeah, Deluxe is awesome. I wouldn't think you turn the thump off though. Maybe up a little bit. Maybe if you don't like a lot of bass, then maybe just up a little bit.
Well, if I remember anything from the JVM OD2, it definitely is the highest gain.
Yeah, you'd probably be on the HBE channel for sure, and and
it probably thins out at that point. Yeah.
There's a thing from KBK Man in here. You probably answered this 100 times. Sorry, but what exactly is the relationship between Sozo and synergy capacitors? Okay, that's really simple. The synergy capacitors are essentially what the Sozo next generation capacitors were. When Sozo did the next generation capacitors, they had some issues with the company making it, not paying their bills, possibly. I don't know the whole story behind it, but basically the cap manufacturer cut them off and they couldn't be had, and I wanted to use them, so we wound up contacting the cap manufacturer, and guaranteeing we were going to buy so many caps per year, and hence the Sozo, the Royal Mustard, Synergy Royal Mustard caps are the original Sozo next generation caps. Same manufacturer, same cap.
Just labeled Synergy.
Yep. And then later, Sozo did a deal with CE Distribution, I do believe. And I don't know where those caps are, the next generation Sozo caps are manufactured now. I have no clue whatsoever, but it's not by the original company. Original company hand makes the caps in the United States.
So let me ask you this.
All the Synergy Royal Mustard caps are made here. They're a USA made cap.
So if you're going to buy a cap outside of what you guys are using for Synergy stuff, or say for your own amps and stuff, can a person buy them like just for their own builds? And
the Synergy caps?
Yeah.
You can. There's a place called Valve Storm that sells them. I don't know if anyone else does, but Valve Storm, which is a company that is kind of in the DIY marketplace, Marshall DIY marketplace, they sell them.
Okay. Cool. Based Boomer Chad Bear, what's going on? Thanks for the super chat. Hello, gents. Love these chats. Awesome. So do we. Thank you. What Friedman amp would you recommend for dialing a tone akin to GNR Appetite? I also wish that Slash would collab with Friedman for a SIG amp. One can dream.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be bright. It's probably pretty close already to the C45 mode on a B100. It's closer to that. Might even be closer to the to be honest, the JEL20. Generally speaking, it wasn't an exorbitant amount of gain, and it was really bright. So I worked on the original number 34 amp that he used on Use Your Illusion record. And what was modeled after his amp later when Marshall did it. It's not a lot of gain, and it's on the brighter side with not a lot of bass.
And played loud.
Played kind of loud, yeah. I mean, he basically, his Jubilees now, he does that with, it's not like huge amounts of gain on him. It's just a weak pickup, Alnico 2, Seymour Duncan, Slash pickup, and into kind of a bright Marshall-esque sort of amp,
Okay. Awesome. Hey, Dave, what do you think about the Partridge output transformers on Marshalls? Also, have you tried old Fane speakers with Marshalls?
Well, good question. I've never tried a Partridge OT in a Marshall, although I've always wondered what it would sound like. Partridge OTs aren't made anymore.
What were they originally in?
They're high watts. High watts Carlsboro amps, some Laney amps, original Laney amps had some. So I don't know. Could be really cool. Been kind of wanting to try that forever, but I haven't kind of gone on a quest down that path of doing it, as far as old Fane speakers, the cast frame Fanes in a high watt style cab with an old Marshall sounds awesome. George Lynch had a really good high watt cabinet that he had cast frame Fanes in that sounded incredible with his Marshall. So, it's different take on things.
Okay. Let's see. Matt Johnson. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, Mark and Dave. Hope you're both doing well. I'm doing great. Any advice on buying a deluxe Memory Man or similar delay unit for early 1980 to 83 U2 tones? I've always loved the Edge's sound from that era. Yeah.
Yeah, what you want to get is I wonder if I can find it right now. I'm going to do a little looking here. You want to get the reissue that was made Man, when did they start making it? I might be able to tell you here when I'm typing it in here. So you want a 90s reissue Memory Man. It's the full size. It's kind of a pain in the ass because so the first reissues in the 90s came with an AC cord attached. That's kind of a pain in the ass. The second version of them came with a 24-volt input and not a transformer inside. That's a better version because the transformer inside can cause hum and stuff. So the early 90s second version, there's a bunch available. I wish I could show you, but Mark can only do that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I wish they would allow me to give you presenting rights.
But yeah, there's tons of them, and they're going for a fuck ton of money. So if you look at 90s reissues on Reverb, let's say, it looks like they're going for $700 and up.
Wow.
Maybe $650 if you get lucky.
Is there anything you can buy today that emulates that?
I would say no. To be honest. I mean, you can get newer Memory Mans, but it's not quite the same. These ones are great. So I would opt for one of these, to be honest, and I would get the one that has the separate transformer, not an AC cord into it. And there's plenty of them on there. So you can find it. That's just the most true to the original ones. You don't want an original one because generally they're in such poor shape and they're falling apart. So, no sense in paying for that. Just get the 90s reissue one.
Okay.
Honorable mention. Okay, if I had to make an honorable mention about Memory Mans, it might be the Deluxe Memory Man 1100 TT. This is a Memory Man that has a tap tempo on it. That is available. That was quite cool, and you could tap the tempo, which was neat. And they're only like $290, it looks like.
Not bad. Comparatively.
It might not quite sound like the ones I was first referring to, though. And the newer ones, I mean, although do a decent job, they're not quite as cool. If you're, going for authentic, then I'd go with the first ones I mentioned.
Okay. KGS. You see that Jakey Lee? Yep. How am I liking it? I love it. It's very different from your other amps.
Sort of.
Well, I mean, it's sort of, yeah. I mean, but it's not like a BE channel.
No, it's brighter, more aggressive.
Yeah, brighter, more aggressive. It's a bit hairier. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but yeah, it's definitely different.
Ripping.
So, yeah, it's great. By the way, I don't know if it's just my amp, but it's loud as fuck. Like if I put it up to like 1.5, it is really loud.
Yeah, it doesn't even start clipping the power section until around 5.
I can't. It's amazing how loud it is compared to like the little sister. The sweep on them are very different.
The sweep on them is different.
Yeah. So
yeah,
because I need to turn up the little sister.
They're as loud as each other. It's just where the pot is sitting.
Yeah,
that's definitely different on both.
Yeah.
But
I love it. It's great. It's awesome. And here's someone who loves it also. The Gear Hoarder.
Yeah, it's ripping. I mean, it's an awesome amp, man. It really, and it's funny. A lot of people put some videos out of doing some sounds that it really wasn't intended for originally, but they were doing some classic rock and different things with it that it sounded awesome for, and And in the non-pulled mode on the other, it's basically kind of an 800, so you can dial back the gain a little bit around 5 or 6, and you're just getting a good crunch, and then the plexi is a little less, but you can get a lot of sounds that are more classic out of it, or high gain searing 80s.
Yeah,
Jakey Lee tones,
throw the sat switch on, and
then the sat switch just throws another thing, and that was just like an added. It's like, why not? Let's put it on.
Yeah,
I thought it sounded cool with the circuit, so I just went with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to satisfy really pretty much anybody who wants to go from clean to ripping. So, Vinny said he's using the Belden 9778.
Awesome, man. That's good cable. Sounds great. My favorite.
He said he got 1,000 feet.
Yep, you have to buy 1,000, and I hope you bought it from the right place. Did I tell you where to buy it? I can't remember.
I think he did. He mentioned to me that he reached out to you on where to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, there was one place that sells it for a little cheaper than most places. So,
yep. So
but it's gone up. It's gone up.
We got one buyer. I'd buy a Tone Talk cable. Awesome.
It's almost the only place you can get one of these cables, to be honest, out of 9778. I mean, I think Mason is doing some cables with them, but
Well, awesome. That'll be cool.
Did you see my video with the chairman of the boards?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. We're talking about wet, dry, wet.
Yeah, that was fun. I think I talked the entire show.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
I talked the entire show. Yeah. I just thought there was a little wisdom needed to be
thrown
onto the show with a bunch of newer builders. So
we'll check it out, guys. It was
pretty cool.
Vertex. It was Vertex pedals.
Well, I think it's a Chairman of the Boards podcast.
Oh, is that what it was?
It's Chairman of the Boards podcast. It is on the Vertex channel.
Oh, I see.
But I specifically did it because it's a group podcast.
Right.
So
makes sense.
And it's all about just rigs and stuff. So it was fun.
Yeah, I bet. Quincy G. Might be a stupid question for Dave, but what happens if I put a booster into the effects loop? It's going to make it louder. Differences between a clean boost or a gain boost, like a BB preamp.
Well, the BB preamp is still relatively clean. And I do believe in the BB preamp, if you turn the gain down to nothing, it's basically a clean boost with an EQ. I mean, a clean boost is, like a linear clean boost is like, say, a microamp or an MXR line driver. And it literally just, there's no frequency shift of any kind. It boosts exactly what it's given, just louder in the loop. Something like the BB preamp, you can tone shape it a little bit. So it's going to impart, like an EQ in the loop. It's going to impart some sort of tone shaping. So you can use a Sir Coco boost in the mid boost mode in the effects loop, and you kind of get a boost in volume, but you kind of get a mid range emphasis on it. So you can use an EQ pedal to do the same thing. You can put whatever emphasis you want on it in the loop. So. Okay. And it would be depending on what you want to do.
Yeah, but it's not going to hurt your amp.
No, it won't hurt it. Put it in the loop. Go for it.
Tobias Ryan, what's up, man? Love the show. Got a BE 100 Deluxe, and I freaking love it. Love the BE channel. HBE is cool, but wondering what your preferred gain setting is on the HBE. If I typically don't go past 5.
On the HBE channel, I don't even use the HBE channel.
Pretty much.
I mean, on the BE channel, I mean, I use my gain anywhere from 7 to 10. On the BE channel, that's without any sat on in the highest gain mode on the structure switch, and
that's what I run
and all that stuff. HB is nice if you were doing a lead and you just want to give a little more gain, and that's what it was sort of intended for. I mean, some people love it, and some people say that's not enough gain. So, you know, to those people, you should play with less gain. Less gain is more cut. More cut is a bigger tone. Just do it. Learn how to play that way. You can learn how to play that way. If you just play that way and force your way to do it, you can learn how to make your fingers do the work and make it sustain and be fine. You know?
Mm-hmm. Someone wrote in one of our videos where we were having this similar discussion, and they were like, well, that's all well and good, but if they're playing, you know, super heavy metal, you know,
not true metal. Not necessarily true. Just because it's heavy does not mean by any means it has to be like super high gain. In fact, what I've run into with a lot of people with down-tuned guitars and different things like that is that they don't actually, they wind up putting some volume into it, but they don't wind up actually using that much gain. It's more about the EQ curve of it and how it cuts. Because the you know, the bigger the strings, the more down-tuned it is, the more you want it to cut, because it just starts getting darker and more bloated. And you want clarity and cut. So you want less gain and more volume and more brighter voice, more mids. You want more cut.
Interesting. Okay. Vinny's making some cables. All right.
Sweet.
Abraxas 1. Cool. Tonsky, thanks for the super chat. I'm waiting for my Steve Stevens 100 V2. Excited to get a Friedman back in my arsenal. Can you explain the fat switch for the gain channel a bit?
Sure. It gets fatter. It adds more bass in the preamp.
Use it for like single coils. If
you know, it adds more bass to the preamp. So if you're running, say, the gain channel down lower, it might be of use. You might, if you choose to use it, you might choose to use less thump on the amp, because you're going to have too much low end. If you're playing really low in volume, you might like it. So things like that. It's really useful more like if you really dial the gains back and just need a fuller tone to it. When it starts to thin out a little bit, it's really useful for that. It's just more bass in the preamp.
Dave, what you drinking?
Oh, some nice person, and I can't remember for the life of me who sent this to me. And thank you, though, whoever did, and you might know if you're watching, sent me some Don Julio 1942 tequila, which is an amazing tequila. And it was very nice of him. And I remember the guy emailing me, said, I'm going to send you something. And for the life of me, I can't remember exactly who it was that said that. So I apologize and thank you.
That's nice. Very cool.
Yes.
You ever work with Zach Wild?
Yeah, sure.
From Epiphany?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, yeah?
Zach is a kind of a friend. Yeah.
Oh, we should get him on when he gets
I tried sending an email a while back. I tried sending him a text a while back about that. I'll try that again. He didn't answer me that time, but which was I thought was kind of odd, but
well, he's on tour.
Yeah. I know, Pantera.
Yep.
With Rex.
With Rex, exactly. Vinny says 9778 is not easy to source.
Nope.
It's got to be expensive.
Not easy to source. Generally, you can get it from. Oh, shoot! I forgot the name. Mental block. Sorry. Never mind. I'll come back to that.
Do you know who answers the Soldano Tech questions at Bad?
Oh boy. No. Maybe. Could be a guy named Steve Elo or one of the other customer service guys. Why?
Why?
Stephen, why?
Yeah. Do you have having an issue?
You have any issue? Yeah. Ask me. I'll probably know.
Okay. Rainer Credides. Mod recommendations for a Fender Showman. Want one for surf stuff, so could repurpose the vibrato channel and maybe do some modernization. 16 ohm output.
I mean, generally you just want a clean tone, and basically a Fender Showman is a Fender Twin. So I don't know what you want different out of it. You don't need to do a 16 ohm output. You can play that amp into 16 ohms. It's not really a problem. You can rewire the cab for a 4 ohm, for that specific amp, which will get the most clean output power out of it, but you might not need that much. I mean, it's a loud amp, even into a 16 ohm cab. What do you want to get out of it? What do you want to do different? I mean, that's the question.
Yeah, that's a key thing. He says, want one for surf stuff.
Which is a clean, totally clean sound, I mean, I think it would just work fine the way it is.
Does it have a vibrato channel on it?
It does have a vibrato, I think, if I recall. It does not have a reverb.
Well, for surf stuff, you need the reverb and the vibrato.
Yeah. But then again, there's lots of pedals for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buy a Flint. You get your tremolo and your reverb in one.
Jeremy Red Door, thanks for the super chat. Huge fan, but not been able to afford one of your flagship amps. Considering the Twin Sister and Wildwood small box, bought the Twin Sister. Best sound I've ever heard from an amp. It took nothing to dial in a great sound. Salute.
Oh, that's the point. That's thank you very much. And that's the point. In this day and age, and this might come into play with the new product I'm coming out with. In this day and age, there's all this, modeling and direct solutions and things like that. And the problem with all of them is, like you just said here, you bought the Twin Sister and it took nothing to dial in a great sound right away. Right? Can you do that with a modeler?
Not most times, no, unless
right?
unless the profile is exactly what you want.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing. It's like there's a very good chance that you're going to plug that in and you're going to have to, okay, let me hook up the editor to this profiler so I can edit it on my computer. Okay. Well, wait, I got to download the editor. Okay, then I got to find the appropriate USB cable for whatever I'm using, which could be one of several. And then you realize that, their software version does not play nice with my newest Mac software version. Okay, well, shit, I'm fucked. And now I got to wait till they catch up, with their software version. And all I wanted to do was turn the gain up.
Yeah.
So I mean, yes, you can do it on front if you can find it. At some point in time, it's just like it's so much easier to plug an amp in and just turn the knob.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was watching a Michael Nielsen video.
Yeah.
Recently, he was doing a video
with the new modeler thing from whatever it was,
React IR or whatever company.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, where it had the big button, it had the big knob, and that was for the headphones.
Yeah,
but he's like, there's no knob for the volume of the unit itself, and if you have to go into to edit it, you have to go into the edit the volume.
Look,
it's like, what? Why would you do that?
Look, you know what boggles my mind is this. So
It's not Michael Nielsen's product. He was doing.
No, I understand. I know. I saw it.
I just wanted this classic.
The thing is, when we used to do these rigs, like these big racks, right, in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, right? Big racks, bunch of processors, but mixers, this, that, blah, 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 switchers. It was so much easier than most things now. It was easier to store a preset. It was easier to find how to store the preset. I mean, there were a few exceptions to that made it exceptionally hard. Lexicon was not one to make it easy on you. I mean, Eventide wasn't bad. Yamaha was great. Some of the Boss stuff was great, easy to use. But it was so much easier to do even an elaborate rack to do all the presets than it is on a Line 6 HX Stomp. And it's like insane. And like, I don't like, guitar players do not design this
right
stuff. It's apparent. And like Pete Thorne and I always fucking yell about this. It's like going, all right, if we can't figure this out, this is bad for the average guitar player. Because, how are they going to figure it out? I mean, there is some people that figured it out. There is some techie guys that figure it out. But really, isn't it about playing the guitar? And, why not just play the guitar? Make it a lot easier on yourself. It doesn't have to be this hard. Stop fucking around.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dial it in quick and you're ready to go. Ready to play. That's exactly the key. SH5 is the custom, not
okay. Sorry.
Not the JB. Okay.
Good question. I don't know that. I don't know much about. I would think just the production one is fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I can never keep straight the SH whatever and the SH. I can never keep straight what was what.
Let's see. I heard through the grapevine that Seymour Duncan single coil size humbuckers are not as good as DiMarzio ones. No idea.
Well, I mean, all right. Look, which Seymour Duncan single? They've been doing stacked single coils forever. So there was originally there was the classic stacks.
I had a little 59. I hated it. I will.
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of different single coil ones from Seymour Duncan that are humbuckers. There was originally classic stacks and there was hot stacks, and those were all really in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And they had interesting sounds. A lot of the rack sounds that were done with pickups like that. They had a very, I wouldn't call vintage Strat sound at all. They had a sound like Mike Landau used those a lot, and Steve Lukather and things like that. And then there was hot rails. Now personally, the hot rail, a neck version hot rail pickup in the bridge, I tend to like. I think it's a cool sounding pickup. I remember having a guitar with one specifically, and it was the neck version that I put in the bridge. Neck version's a little weaker, and it sounds really cool in the bridge for a single coil humbucker. Some of the other ones are just too hot. It's just too much, and I didn't like the little 59. I didn't like the little JB. Some of the newer ones, some of the ones that, Yngwie has some pickups now with them and stuff. I actually don't care for those either. Now, the DiMarzio ones are quite good. If we're talking Yngwie, we can go back to the HS, the HS series, HS3, right? That he used. And that's, what? It's a great sounding pickup. Still to this day, it's a good sounding pickup. And then later they went on to the virtual vintage series stuff. And it works really well,
They sound close to a real humbucker?
Well, they're hum canceling. I don't know if they sound close to a humbucker. I mean, they sound like a single coil. It's a hum canceling, you know.
Okay,
But then there's also the Chopper series from DiMarzio, which is a dual blade that's sort of like the Hot Rail.
right.
And the Chopper series actually sounds more like a humbucker. And that's pretty cool too. Man, it's just like you got to try this stuff and just got to, listen with your ears and decide. I mean, generally, I would say maybe the DiMarzios are better than the Duncan ones in that category, at least, There's a lot of DiMarzio humbuckers I like, love even, Tone Zone was a cool humbucker.
Tone Zone, yeah. Tone Zone is
That was a great sounding humbucker. The stuff they did with the Ernie Ball guitars with EVH, that was a great humbucker. The Super Distortion is still cool. The original non-hum canceling SDS ones, the super overdrive sort of single coils, that are in the Jakey Lee guitars. Those sound great. Paired with a JB, it makes a lot of sense.
Never tried them.
That if you were to have one of those Jakey Lee guitars, you'd understand that JB with those single coils work really well together. I think Pete Thorne said that in his video on the Jake amp.
Because he
used my Jake guitar, and he said something about Jake was really smart about these. These sound really good with this humbucker.
Alex 2112 speaker recommendations for a Fender Deluxe Reverb 65 reissue. My recommendation would be Weber. I like Weber speaker.
For Weber Fender. What?
Well, I don't have a. I can't tell you. I can't tell you the model of speakers, but I actually mixed two in my Fender. Sorry, I can't tell you. I don't know. Go ahead.
I sort of like Celestions in Deluxes. So a greenback can be cool. The 65 watt Celestion can be cool. Even occasionally a vintage 30 can be cool in those. But like Mike Landau, for instance, always used the greenback in his Deluxes. So just a thought.
And are those 10-inch speakers or 12-inch?
No, 12s.
Or 12s.
Deluxe Reverb would be a 12.
Okay. All right.
Now there's other options, of course. There's a myriad of Webers, of course, including all the variants of what used to be the Scumbag speakers, from Weber, the Legacy series or something, which can be really cool too. Man, I'm never that much of a fan of like Jensen speakers and stuff. Although, I mean, I understand people like them and stuff, but if you're gonna, there's a difference if you're gonna keep your Deluxe clean or dirty. Are you gonna crank it up? Is it gonna get gritty? You might want a different speaker.
I see. Yeah. But if you're using it as like a clean platform,
it could be anything, man. It could be anything. I mean, like even an EV and a Deluxe can be really cool. Totally clean,
But when I'm saying using it as a clean platform, that you use like a distortion pedal, would it still be better?
Well, yeah, I still think a Celestion. So, like for instance, like those Mike Landau amps, the Mike Landau version of the Hot Rod Deluxe or whatever that he had, those came with, I think, 65 watt Celestions in them, which was pretty high end for that series of amps. And it sounded way better that way. Especially if you put a distortion box in front of it.
Right.
Celestions just do distortion well.
Celestions, say that again?
Does distortion well.
Does distortion well, okay.
Yeah.
And Weber's...
No, I'm not saying that. Weber, there's so many Weber speakers. I don't know what
I got you.
I mean, Weber speakers are fine, but there's so many different ones.
Right.
You know, if you were to get the Legacy series or whatever, that was the Scumbag or something, that would be great.
I
You
see.
know,
What do you think of WGS speakers?
I think the what was it? The Veteran 30, was that a WGS speaker?
Yeah, they have a retro something and
The Veteran 30 was a cool speaker. It was kind of like a V30 with less high mids, sort of. That speaker sounded really good. Always sounded really. Some of the what was that company that Aussie? Three Monkeys. Some of the Three Monkeys amps and cabinets came with the Veteran 30 speaker in it and stuff, and it was a great speaker.
Yeah, Third Power uses it.
Yeah,
Delana uses them too.
Yeah,
that's why I asked, because I have them in that 4x12.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a pretty good speaker.
It definitely sounds different than the Celestians, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We've got Stormlight Architect. Dave, thanks for answering my email, making recommendations on Synergy modules based on what big iron amps I already had last month. Bought a BE Deluxe, waiting on the OS from Sweetwater. Want to buy a twin sister module, please.
Well, I mean, you know, the DS module is pretty close. I mean, maybe eventually we'll do a twin sister module. That would phase out the DS module, of course.
Right. I was going to say you would just update it.
Yeah.
Harmonicaster, what's up? Thanks for the super chat. Dave, ever get frustrated with musicians' demands? A harp player wants my gizmo to reproduce the tone of a SM57 into a dual rectifier mezzo boogie. Wants my gizmo. Okay.
Well, I think I don't know what you're really referring to there, but anyway,
I think he's kind of saying like an example of crazy demands.
Yeah, well, we get crazy demands all the time, you know, and you have to be calm. You have to be calm and try not to throw things when you read it. I think a lot of musicians' requests occasionally are sort of misguided. They haven't really had the pleasure to really listen to things and hear a lot of things and haven't had a lot of experience recording and different things, and so they have kind of a misguided, you know, request, so to speak, that you generally have to set them straight on a little bit or try to educate, so to speak. And that's fine, because not everyone has the, you know, has heard every amp in the world or has heard all this stuff, and they've only read about what a plexi sound is and what this is, and you know, and having just read about it isn't really giving you any idea what it actually sounds like. And I would say the vast majority of musicians are this way. So, you know, it's kind of our job to sort of educate and try to help them with their misguided thoughts.
That's funny.
You know, I try to put that nicely.
Yeah. Yes, you did. You put that quite eloquently. That was funny.
Yeah. The tequila helps. It helps.
Hey, we've got
if you go too far with the tequila, it doesn't help anymore.
Right, exactly. I'll have to get back to tomorrow.
Fuck this.
We've got a lot of super chats to get through, so I'm going to rip through them here.
All right, let's rip through them. Let's go.
Tonsky. So with the new amp coming, I should have waited on the Steve Stevens V100 V2, huh? LOL, just kidding.
No new amplifier is coming, exactly. It's another useful gizmo.
Gizmo.
but it's not a full tube amplifier.
If that's a hint. Sigs.
It is tube, though.
An awesome guest would be Helmut Bibble. His YouTube channel is Bibble Rocks. I think you mentioned this to me, or somebody mentioned this to me. He demos gear and is a monster classic rock blues guitar.
I think I know. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He has a demo the Friedman small box. Yeah, I think he is great. That would be fun. Yeah, sure. We should try to reach out and see.
Oh, you know who I was talking to? We'll have to have on also is Kyle Bull.
We've had Kyle Bull on.
No, we haven't.
Kyle. Oh, Kyle Bull. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking the other Kyle from
KSR.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's see. I was like, we have?
Sorry.
No problem.
Wrong Kyle.
Modern Vintage. David Mark, I learned so much from your gear from Tone Talk episodes since episode 1. Awesome. Thank you for that. Dave, are there any characteristics of a 50-watt Plexi type amp that you like better than a 100?
Sort of maybe answered this before with the other question. I mean, a 50-watt Plexi versus 100, it might ever so, if they are the same preamp circuit, meaning a lead spec preamp circuit, I mean, a 50-watt might be a little tiny bit squishier and a tiny bit gainier, maybe slightly, but they're very similar if it's the same circuit.
Okay. By the way, it looks like doing this show at 8:00 is the better way to go.
I think so, actually.
Yeah, we got a lot.
It's like it's a little bit earlier. They can kind of, depending on where they are, they can kind of get to the show better. And it's actually better for me too, because I get done earlier. And it's much better for you because you get done earlier.
Yeah, it's much better for me. Absolutely.
Yeah. You're a little more alive and awake.
Yes, I am. By the end of the other shows, I start like getting old.
Nodding off.
I'm just old. Up your alley.
$20. Thank you.
We appreciate it, but I'm
not sure what your question is.
Yeah, I know people. You got to type in the question. I know sometimes if you don't type in the question, it gets confusing, but you got to type it in. Green Cal X. Good evening, gents. I would like to know from Dave, which Friedman model is the easiest to dial that Steve Vai Jose Arredondo super lead tone from Eat 'em and Smile. Love the show. Cheers. Thank you.
I mean, you could probably do that with a B100 Deluxe. I mean, I don't know what tone you can't dial in there.
Yeah. Pretty much everything.
Yeah, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Stevens also, that amp, SSV2, would also get you in the same category with a little less dialing. The problem is with the 100 Deluxe is there's so many fucking switches on it.
Right.
And I love the fact that the SS does not have any. So that's also a really good one for this.
Vinny, Dave, how close is the small box pedal to the Plexi channel on the Jakey Lee?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Really? Vinny, come on. I mean, yes, you could probably dial it really close. I mean, you can do a really good low gain sound into a clean channel with the small box pedal and get it sounding really, really probably very close. You'd have to A/B back and forth and dial it in exactly, but you can probably get really close.
Yeah, I don't think.
How are you setting the Plexi channel on the JEL? Are you setting the gain on 10? Are you setting it back? There's some questions to be asked here.
Right. Yeah, I think he doesn't have I don't think he has an amp that has the Plexi channel, so I think he has.
I think you know what? Into a clean channel, I think the small box pedal, you can do a great Plexi sound. If you're not convinced of that, go to Pete Thorne's video of the small box pedal, where he A/Bs it directly to an actual vintage Marshall, and it sounds damn close. He was using the pedal into the clean channel of his Sur amp, and then versus a 50-watt 1972 Marshall. So, watch Pete's video.
Okay. Scott Brockway, Dave, please make 977A cables. I would buy.
Well, Vinny's going to make them.
Vinny's going to make them. We're going to put a Tone Talk logo on them, and Vinny's going to sell them, and we'll offer it one day soon. I'm not sure if he got the cable in yet or not. So,
I love this idea.
Don't want to buy anything related to Mason. I'll gladly support Vinny. This has nothing to do with Mason.
Has nothing to do with Mason.
This is
okay. I'm gonna go. Look. I understand the backstory to what Mason did or didn't do, and it did do. But I do have to give him credit for coming clean, paying everyone back. This was like a long time ago.
People make mistakes.
So, I'm not justifying what happened. I'm not saying any of that, but I do admire the fact that he actually did come clean and make it all good with everyone. So, go from there. And the reason I did the podcast with them was it was a group podcast. It's chairman of the boards. It isn't just a Vertex thing. And I just felt that some wisdom needed to be
imparted,
brought to light, or in all of that, some actual factual history, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, let's make it clear. This is not these cables. These
cables aren't Mason's. They would be
Vinny.
Ours, and Vinny would be making them, and I fully back this idea. I love it.
Yeah, beautiful. I totally forgot about
that way
it.
I don't have to make them.
Yeah. And Vinny makes great great cables. I don't know why I keep saying pedals. He makes great cables. Spartan Pride, what do you guys think of the new Stone song? I actually like it.
Man, it's really good, man. I gotta admit that what's the producer's name? Sorry. Andrew Watt did a great job. I think they sound great. I think it's a great song. I think it sounds like the Stones. I think I was actually like, wow, this is great.
Yeah, me too.
It's like Rolling Stones, man. Yeah, killer.
And the video's good too. The girl's quite hot.
Yeah, the girl riding around in the car.
Yeah.
It's
classic. Steve Longworth wants to know, Dave, what is
sorry, let me say something about the video. What I love about that video was they had, on the billboards, they had the different eras of the Stones as it went along, and eventually you got to them where they are now. And I thought that was done clever. It was a clever way of doing things, and I thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
took it kind of along the ride with them, so to speak.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep. Question on the Dirty Shirley: why does it have a 4.7K in the phase inverter instead of a 1 meg?
Well, if you know that much about it, then why don't you try the difference in sound between the two? Take a listen. Switch back and forth between the two. If you apparently know what you're talking about here, so switch back and forth. It's a little trick I found from another person a long time ago. So, and I liked how it sounded.
William Gallo, thank you. Dave, I played a live show with a 5153 50-watt head with an EVH 1x12 cab with a mic no mo to the PA. Can you tell me why I was getting momentary volume drops when switching from channel 2 to 3? Time to change the power tubes?
No idea. Maybe you should contact Fender customer service on that one. I mean, you shouldn't have. I mean, when you got it home, was there anything in the loop of your amp? What were you using with it? Was anything else involved? Was there something that was switching patches between? Maybe you were getting dropout from that. I need more information. I mean, the head by itself shouldn't do that. The mic no more wouldn't do anything. So
I assume when he was getting volume drops, it was happening across the board, not just with the mic no mo.
Well, when he was switching channels 2 to 3, I don't know. I mean, there is a little mute circuit in the 5150 amp that does mute for a second while you're switching. So, but that shouldn't have been causing anything. So, I mean, if you plug it in at home now with just the cabinet and you're switching, does it do anything like that? And if so, what else was involved in the rig? Narrow it down. So you got to do troubleshooting. So the first thing you do is plug the head into the cabinet alone, nothing in the loop, nothing in front, channel switch. Is it doing it? If it's doing it, it's a problem with the amp. If it's not doing it, then start plugging other stuff into the rig and see when it starts doing it. You will narrow it down eventually to what's causing the issue. Troubleshooting 101.
HK, thank you. I love everything Friedman. If you had to give one Zeppelin album as a present to a youngster, which would you choose and why?
Oh, fuck.
I mean, if as a presentation, the first
all of them.
Yeah, I would go Zeppelin 2 as a introduction to a youngster.
Okay, I'll back that. I'll back Zeppelin 2. But it's the whole body of work, though. I mean, Zeppelin, the 3 was awesome, more acoustic based and stuff. It was amazing. I mean, even 4, presence, even, into the outdoor. God, give them a box set. How's that?
There you go.
There's a box set with all of them, right? Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah.
Or there has been in the past. Give them the box set because I think that's an education from album 1 through all of them. At least through the last real one up to Coda. Coda was just outtakes.
Right.
Yeah.
But
even Coda was cool.
Oh, I love Coda.
Yeah.
Yep. Bonzo's Montreux is on there.
Man, the whole body of work is crazy, and my crazy fantasy is to have Jimmy Page on the show.
Oh, I hope so.
And I'm going to try desperately to work that out, but I highly doubt it will happen, but I'll try.
We know somebody who knows him.
I do know somebody that knows him, and we'll see, but I mean, Jimmy Page is 79 years old. I mean, like, let's document some history.
Right.
That's how I'm looking at this. Let's document some history for people, for the ages. You know what I mean? And that would be amazing. I don't know if I would be able to speak.
Oh, I would need a
fanboy. It'd be a little choked up.
Yeah, I'd be a fanboy for a while. That's for
right.
Sure. No doubt. That would be tough. DSL, what's up? When designing an amp, does using a higher or lower voltage power transformer affect the amp feel and response, or do you just math out what the circuit calls for? Let me guess. It depends. Big fan.
Using a higher or lower voltage transformer definitely changes the feel of the amplifier. Also choosing what voltages are across the circuit board. So you could have your power tubes at a lower voltage, but the voltages that are across the circuit board, having them at a certain point sounds different than having them at a lower point. So yeah, definitely. The lower voltages are a little softer. They're not quite as punchy. They're not quite as dynamic, so to speak. Like for instance, like Marshall, for a while in the mid 70s, all the 50 watt amps, they used an incredibly low voltage. They used 380 volts, maybe even a little less, but around 380 volts on the plates of the tubes, compared to the earlier 50 watt Marshalls, which were more like, really old ones were more like 450 volts, and then the later ones were more like 420 volts. 380 was considerably less, and those amps, they didn't change the voltages on the circuit board. They just kind of just put the transformer in, so everything was lower. So they tend to be mushier and fuzzier. So I sort of hate those amps. You can correct some of it by adjusting the voltages across the board with the resistors that are there and getting a cleanlier sound with the lower voltage power transformer. That's kind of cool. That works. But yes, it affects the feel for sure.
Daniel Belinsky, thanks for the super chat. Any experience, opinions, on old USA Hamer guitars, especially 80s shredders? I think they're awesome. What is your opinion on noiseless Sir SSC? I have a Friedman Telly, and the only thing that bugs me is the single coil noise.
SSC is great, Sir. It works well. Sorry, yeah, the Friedman Telly, yeah, it's a single coil, so you know that's what you get.
Yeah.
The old Hammer guitars are super cool. What is old? I don't know. I remember as a kid, I remember all the Explorers, the old Hammer Explorers and stuff that were bitching with the flame maple tops and stuff. I never owned one ever. I kind of would like to own one. In fact, that'll be my new reverb look.
Yeah.
Occasionally, you know what I hate about reverb is, like, if you look at reverb once, then you know reverb comes up in everything you pull up on your web browser, and then you see they just show you a picture of a guitar, and you see it, you have to click on it, and then you go down this rabbit hole. Right. So after you see what it is, you then go down this rabbit hole of like, oh, I wonder if there's other ones of this kind like up there. Oh, let me look. And then you start going down this rabbit hole of old guitars. I did it today actually with a couple old Kramer guitars. There's a really nice Voyager I kind of want to buy, but I'm having a hard time forcing myself to buy things. I don't know. I don't need it. I don't have to have it. Would I like it? Yes.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, it's just a constant fight. But occasionally, if you're drunk enough, you just go click.
Or if it's late enough, yeah, I know.
And you're like, whoops, what did I just do?
Oh, wow. Jay Busk, I'm sure you're asked this all the time, but what do you think was the white knob on the back of Ed's amp? It had a
man, I have no idea what it was originally. I can tell you this. I've been in so many of his Marshalls from all the eras, from Japan, 1978, you know, where you see pictures of all the Marshalls, you know. I've been in all those Marshalls, and I can tell you this. For the most part, every one of those Marshalls was bone stock. Now, what I mean for the most part, now don't read into this. Don't think I'm saying something else. Slight variances in slight components across the board or something. Maybe a few of them had something changed, but it was a stock circuit. Okay, it's not a gain mod, so to speak. So, and now I've looked at all those amps. Now, if there was a mod that he loved, right? He had to have, Wouldn't you think it would be in more than one amp?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be more than one amp.
Yeah.
None of those are modded. So,
okay.
And
All
that's going really far back.
Right.
You know, I mean, those are the amps that I looked at. Tried to look for amps that would tell me that there was something else. There was nothing else.
Mm. Well, that would give you evidence to think,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, there was nothing.
Yep. Thanks, Jay Busk. Briny Bear, we actually just talked about that. What's your stance on Vertex with the wah thing?
I understand. I mean, I totally understand what you're saying. I don't condone anything that happened. I just think this was a lot of years ago, and he has made an effort to make sure that everyone was taken care of, you know. So I'll give him that.
You know what? I'm just going to add this. I'm not making excuses for anybody who does anything like that. But the truth is, everybody's been young once.
Young and dumb.
Young and dumb. We fuck up, do something stupid, learn our lesson. Forgive and forget sometimes. He seems to. Definitely seems to have tried. He could have folded. He could have just gone and disappeared off the face of the planet.
Absolutely.
And
he did make it right.
He made it right, and he's still out there producing good content.
I'll give him that.
Yep.
We'll just leave it at that.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. Do I condone any of that? No, I don't.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It wasn't cool. All right. With that said, Stephane Herbuel, thanks for the super chat. Opinions about wireless. We
digital only.
Digital only. I saw more and more PBS with the digital one due to Wi-Fi cell phone. Does the recent UHF suck less tone than the old one in the 80s and 90s?
PBS.
I'm not sure
what that is. But I mean, to be honest, the main one that he's used is the Shure Accent wirelesses. In a professional level, the Shure Accents are fucking flawless. They're amazing. So I don't really, that's the one to use, period. It costs a fortune. If you're a young, a young artist, you're not going to be able to probably even buy it. I mean, it's going to be $4,000 or something. But that's just a rough, I don't know the exact price.
Right.
How many packs do you want in this? It's all extra. Other than that, I mean, Shure small pedal wireless, the newest version is quite good. So, use that.
Okay.
Works great for, bars and small venues and things like that. Works killer for that.
Jay Busk, thanks again. How do I like my Ampeg? I actually like it. I really do. It's different. It's got a different tone than what Dave does. It can do the Lee Jackson no bass all mids thing. It's got that 6 mid switch, so it can get some weird mids. I kind of keep it more in the middle. But yeah, it can do that Zakk Wylde thing. I don't, I've never really listened to King Diamond that much, so it hasn't really been my thing. So I can't answer on that. But Zakk Wylde, yeah, definitely you can get tones like that. Yeah, it's a cool amp. That's why I bought it.
Holy crap, we have a lot of
we got a lot, yeah.
We have a lot.
Daniel Belinsky, what's the point of a plec? The neck moves a bit with changing of seasons no matter what. I have a bunch of guitars that were plecked, including Friedman. I found that good fretwork is equally as good. No, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong at all. Like a quality fret guy that can really do a good job is amazing. If it's in production and you want it to be as close to perfect as you can, the plec is great. But there is a little magic to a really exceptionally good fret guy. So, but they're very rare. John Suhr is an exceptionally good fret guy, but you can't get him to refret your guitar. So, there's very few great guys.
But I mean, there's also an art and a science, I think, to the Plek machine as well. It depends on the person running the machine.
Yeah,
at least that's what I've heard. So, Slagari, thanks for the super chat. Hey guys, I like your opinion of Trainer amps. I have a YCV50 that sounds great. What do you know about their circuits? I don't know anything.
I don't know anything about the YCV50. I'm not really sure. I mean, some old Trainer amps are amazing. They're cool. They're well made. They're like tanks.
Where are they built? Canada?
They were originally built in Canada. Yes, still are.
Okay, sorry we can't answer your question there, but some of their amps are great, as Dave said. Pasquale Morelli, we've had Dean DeLeo on before and loved it. Dean is
we want to get his brother Rob on. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, Dean actually had said before when I reached out to him that he would reach out to his brother, but they've been doing like these intermittent gigs and stuff. That was a while ago, but I'm sure we can reach back out. Peter Nagy, thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Here's today's masochism to answer his emails personally. Question: is the Variac on the upcoming vintage series Plexi a switch or a pot?
It's a switch, and it will be the power switch, similar to the Suhr Plexi amp, and it will basically be at 90 volts. Depending on what your wall voltage is, technically. It drops at 30 volts.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, so technically, if your wall voltage was 115, let's say, it would be dropping at 30 volts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
James McNair, thank you. Dave, my BE50 Deluxe is my favorite amp. I run the gain at 3 o'clock. Lately, I am hung up on the Twin Sister. Will that have enough gain and tightness for a BE50 guy, or did Jakey Lee 20 be better?
Very different. A Twin Sister is a fatter amp. It's not as gainy as a BE50 Deluxe. It's a more vintage voice. The JL20, on the other hand, is totally opposite from the Twin Sister. It's going to be much more cutting and more rock and more ballsy and attacky, more so than your BE50 Deluxe.
Yeah, and if you're running the gain,
it's the opposite spectrum. So, like, if the Twin Sisters on the left and the Jakey Lee's on the right and the B50's in the middle.
Yeah, I would steer you towards the Jakey Lee, probably. Joe, what's going on? Dave, have you ever modded an Astoria?
I've never even seen one.
Yeah, me either. I have a dual and was curious if it's possible to mod it to sound more like a custom. The overdrive on the custom sounds nice.
I have no idea. No, not a clue. I have no idea what's in it.
They're supposed to be hand wired, right? Those Marshall Astorias, right?
Aha! Sabu Wabu.
What?
That's next. Pull the next one up.
Oh.
Aha! This must be you. Right here. This must be you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we brought this up earlier, and I forgot who it was. But thank you, and it's gone.
I was going to say, it looks like it's gone.
It's gone now. I didn't drink it all right now. That we were shooting a video here last night with Jordan Ziff, and some of it got drunk then too.
Wait, let's go back.
And P. Thorne partook too.
So you don't know anything about the Astoria?
I don't know anything about it at all.
All right. Sorry we couldn't help you, Joe. Stormlight Architect, yes, phase out the Dirty Shirley for the twin sister bonus switches, more value in having additional EQ per channel. I also need a Sin 1 foot switch and blue LED for my second hand Ubershaw. Josh Ramos missing in action?
Keep emailing him. Josh is there.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's another vote for the twin sister module. William Gallo. What now?
Well, this is the guy that had the delay.
Oh, was using an HX stomp in the loop for effect.
It's the HX stomp that's causing the MIDI switching. Oh, no MIDI switching involved. Okay, never mind. Well, plug it into your cabinet now and see if it does it now without anything in the loop. That's all I can tell you.
Using an HX stomp in the loop for effects only. 4-second volume drops. Wow.
Plug it in direct with nothing in the loop, nothing anywhere, and see what you get. And if it's there still, then it's an issue with the amp.
And get it to the volume you were using too.
Yeah.
Sorry we couldn't help more than that. Jason Wiedner had a gig cancel, so finally get to catch Tone Talk live. Dave, what I want is a run 20 with a Plexi clean. Best route. Should I have you mod it or get or can I get similar sounds to run gain channel out of the Jakey Lee?
Get the Jakey Lee. It'll just do it. I don't have to mod it. I mean, I could mod the runt to do similar to what the Jakey Lee does, but I mean, might be just easier to get the Jakey Lee, sell the runt, get the Jakey Lee.
Yeah. I'd probably say the same thing. Unless you just don't want to go down that route of selling it and then just send it to Dave. But you're going to have to wait a little while.
Let's try to finish these out because I got to go in 8 minutes.
Yep, I hear you.
7 minutes.
That's why I was telling people no more super chats. We got 4 more to go. We're good.
Okay.
Dave, I bought a used 2020 Friedman Green Cali on Reverb. Love it. Is there any way to request or find out the
specs? Send me an email, friedmanamps@gmail.com with the serial number, and I can give you the specs.
Cool. I'm sure it's a cool guitar. Brett Richardson, hey Dave, I'm trying to get a little more punch out of the JJ Jr. and the 112 cab. Would adding another matching 112 sound is just as big as going to a single 212?
Yeah, I would think so.
It might sound bigger.
It might sound even be bigger, yeah, especially if you spread them a little.
Yeah. Definitely. That's cool. Question for both Mark and Dave. How much time are you able to actually carve out to play guitar in a typical week? I'm lucky to get a few hours a week. That's pretty much what I get.
I only get a few hours a week too. Well, I mean, I guess it would depend on how much I'm tweaking or doing amps or pretty much the only time I'm playing is when I'm doing something here, like tweaking an amp, modifying an amp, doing something like that, which is constant. But
it's different than playing.
It's well, yes and no. I mean, sometimes sounds inspire you to play and sit there for a while. Hey, this sounds really good. I'm gonna sit here and play for a while. But yeah, I mean, it's not. People will comment, oh yeah, come out to the bar and play with me or something, or jam or something. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like out of practice, man. Really, I'm just out of practice. It's not a good idea. Or I feel that way, at least.
Right. Yeah. No, I know how you feel.
I feel that way, but I mean, I could, but I mean,
yeah, I play like half an hour a day. I try to at least, and then on the weekend I'll probably get an hour in each day. on the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, that's good.
Yeah, it's not a ton. I wish I could play more, but okay, I think this is the last one.
It is possible. Yes, recently it is possible. How long will it take? Not exactly sure, but we had talked about running a bunch of head shells in black, so you can order that in black. And I have to see where that is. We definitely talked about that. Technically, you could order it any color you want. So, I mean, you could order it in orange if you'd like. You can order it in gator, green, whatever you'd like. There is an upcharge generally for colors. What we're going to try to do is offer some black ones that there is no upcharge at all. The only reason we have an upcharge for colors, right, is so when we make head shells, we'll make a batch of head shells. So, the time it takes to, let's say you're making 100 head shells in red. It's like a assembly line, boom, 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 boom. So if you have to stop the assembly line and make one orange one, it's not just the cost of the Tolex or anything. It's also the time it costs to stop the assembly line to make the 1 amp that we're trying to ship out, So we have to cover our cost of that, So, yeah.
What about Dave Wilkerson?
I know. Dave Wilkerson, I just recently heard from Dave. I haven't heard from him for years. I bought an amp for me for his son. So there you go.
All right. I know you got to run.
I really got to go right now.
Okay. Go ahead. Take off. I'll say goodbye.
Guys, thank you. And we'll see you again. We'll do more of this.
Yep. We'll see you soon. We're going to be on Wednesday, 9:00 Eastern with Joe Bonamassa.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right. Bye.